Hey bro, just wanted to say I really dig your music, man. It's fire. It's a vibe. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, man, I'd love to rap over this. What? Lay down some fire, spit out a verse, make a beat with it, that kind of thing. Have you actually listened to my music? Or, what do you like about it specifically? Other than the fact that I just looked you up on Spotify and noticed that you have way more monthly listeners than I do, just the vibes, and also the feels, though, the feels are a vibe. Ah, man, you know what? I know what I'm forgetting. Hang on just a second. Dude, what the? Yo, is that not enough? Because I got more where that came from. You know what I'm saying? If you have more than about, 150 monthly listeners on Spotify and any social media presence whatsoever, you probably realize that what you just saw is not really much of a dramatization. And it's entirely possible that those of us who have been releasing music for a long time have been on both sides of the coin. And while it is true that collaborating with bigger artists can be quite the career boost, I think we usually skip the most important questions we should be asking when we're considering collaborating with an artist. Why do you want to collaborate with this particular artist? This seems simple, but a lot of us don't take this into consideration, and based on the DMs that I've gotten over the years on Instagram, I would say a lot of people reach out to artists without ever even listening to their music. They just see the numbers that they might be able to gain from them. So, are you a legitimate fan of this artist's work? Have you listened to their catalog of work and know what you could contribute to a collaboration between the two of you? Or do you just look at their streaming numbers as a stepping stone to increase your own streaming numbers, because that is a problem? I've never stood up in one of these videos and have no idea what to do with my hands. I'm just realizing. Have you been making stuff on your own? And have you proved that you can create music that's worth collaborating with? Seems simple, but I think a lot of us skip it. Now, this requires a frighteningly honest self-assessment of where you are as an artist, as a musician, as a creative. And no, I don't mean opening your Spotify and seeing how many monthly listeners that you have. That's not what I'm talking about. How good is your music actually? Can you take a step back and judge it in a more objective way? You shouldn't be trying to climb on the backs of other artists who are already more established than you are. You should be creating stuff that you like, that you're passionate about, and doing that over and over and over until you get so good at it that you are respected in the space. And in doing this, you will improve. There is no way that you can't have multiple reps at something and not get better at it. It would be unreasonable to think that you won't improve. You're also developing your own voice, and then you have something to actually add to a collaboration. Now, a little caveat here, even if you have a great relationship with the artist that you want to collab with, and you feel like it would be a good match musically, they're probably really busy. And this is why it's really important that you have your own projects in the works all the time. Because you can't be just depending on other people who have their own set of projects, other collaborations that they've committed to propel your music career. That's not a great way to do it. You need your own stuff, always working, always improving, always building. Don't just look for self-fulfillment from other people. And this has kind of an unintended side effect, which is sometimes you'll create stuff that other people find to be really cool, and then they reach out to you to collaborate with you, which puts you in the enviable position of not being the person always asking, but being the person that other cool people might be coming to and saying, hey, we should do something cool together. And that is where you want to be. But you know how that cannot happen is if you never put anything out. You never finish any work on your own. They can't find your stuff if you're not making stuff. Number 3. Do you actually know the person that you're trying to collaborate with? And I don't mean that you've traded some fire emojis on Instagram. Now, in the last couple years, I've developed a method that has worked really well for me. And that's a little something I like to call the phone/Zoom call rule. And that is simply that you need to have at least one, but preferably 2 or 3 or 4, one-on-one, phone or Zoom or one-on-one, I already said that, conversations with that person that you're trying to collaborate with so that you've already built a relationship before you ever get to the point of asking them for anything. Nobody likes to be just walked up to by some random stranger they don't know and ask for favors immediately. Do you like that? I don't like that. For example, I'm going to use a person who has become a very good friend of mine, BP Moore. Tremendous artist, you should go check out his work if you haven't. I'll link it down in the description below. I got to know Ben because Ben bought some of my music on Bandcamp. Like, he actually paid money for it. And then he listened to it. And then he was like, followed me on Instagram and commented on my Instagram post about that music that, man, he loved this and this and this, specific things about it. And he was looking forward to the new stuff. And just like friendly, super kind, genuine messages. You can kind of tell, right, when someone's being genuine and when someone is just trying to get something out of you. Turned out that Ben made really cool music too. And he was just releasing his first album around that time, and I listened to a little bit of it because he was so kind, and oh, it's really good, and he knows what he's doing, and he's a great artist in his own right. So that's cool. So he's super kind, very generous, he makes really good music, and my personal taste lines up with that music that he's making. I really genuinely like his music. That's a good start. So after we had this sort of mutual respect for one another's work, Ben reaches out to me just for a Zoom call. And we just chatted about common frustrations that we both had experienced in the music industry and making music and creativity and music that we mutually liked. Just like a conversation you would have with a person. So that was just a one-off conversation. Sometime after that, Ben asked me to do a rework from one of the tracks from his album. And I was like, yeah, of course. I mean, I like this guy, I like his music, all that other stuff that I already said, and I felt like it was mutual, like, okay, we respect each other, and this could really work, and his style and my style would work well together. And not only was I willing to do it, I was actually really thrilled and excited to do it. And this one collaboration has led to multiple collaborations since. I've done some production work for Ben. He's done some session work. He's a great drummer. He's played some drums on my upcoming album. All because it started with mutual respect, musical tastes that work well together, and a relationship that turned into a friendship. So before you send off that barrage of fire emojis, just think about what I've said today. If you care anything at all about actually making collaborations work, I truly believe this is the best way to go about it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you liked the video, I would appreciate it if you would like the video. It shows it to more people. If you're just going to continue DMing people fire emojis on Instagram, give it a dislike. And if you want to see more videos about music production, synthesizers, me talking about synthesizers and music production, actual music, subscribe to the channel and I will love you forever. But no, I won't collab with you. Just kidding, I might. Now, if you'll excuse me, I just have to check my DMs.